Morning guys, so it's Bitcoin, yep, and I've done a little edit. I've spoken in more detail to my premium guys. I'm just giving a short free view for our take on Bitcoin, and the more detailed one exists for premium. And more of the forward-looking aspects, but just retrospectively and a potential small forward cast for those on YouTube free view. We're talking about Bitcoin, and we're talking about this relatively weak recovery. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at the tether. So I have a Polynex account amongst others. On top of that, we called for this little HVF over here. It was running into a bit of resistance after a bit of a rebound off the lows around here. It was running into resistance at what was a legacy purple target area. The value of that resistance was in and around the 1175 to 12,000 zone. So 12,000 obviously a key level of significance here. You can see it just obscured by the red number, which is that level that we're here. So we're bumping into 12,000, bumping into 12,000, bumping into 12,000, tightening. Eventually we broke out, but initially quite tentatively. And then normally key levels of significance are broken with momentum and also volume, which eventually occurred. So the 12,000 gave way. And here you can see the volume. That's the blue boxes. We made that target for that HVF. And then we consolidated a bit, and then we had a final push for a marginally higher high that ended up in an exhaustive shooting star through another key level. I had this purple dotted line. If you've been following the channel for a while, 13,000 has been an identified key level of significance as well. So you've got both the 12 and the 13. No surprises there in the round numbers. Shooting star up to and towards the funnel of another inverted HVF on a larger time frame. So up to and towards an inverted HVF funnel on a larger time frame. That saw it soften, a little bit of a spill there. That was a bit ugly. Interestingly, in terms of how we do head and shoulders, we always only utilize a horizontal line. In other words, price matters far more than some angled line. You have created essentially what is a neckline here, and we always take an existing HVF key level that's almost perfectly set up, and that gives a target down, taking you back down to the 11.5s almost exactly, because you're at just under the 12.5s and you were trading just under the 13.5s. You can see the 13.490 at the top end of that shooting star. So there's a great deal of geometry and symmetry. We like weaker right shoulders for reversals to happen, and you can see that overnight we've had a proper spill. What was a previous resistance level often turned support. So in terms of traditional technical analysis, it's one of the things I do concur with. So you've had a bit of a hammer just through the 12,000 level, and you're trading 11,930 right now. So key levels of significance are often just run in the same way you just ran the 12,000s on the way up here and then dipped below them. Now you've just run them on the downside and just rallied above them. So in terms of a minor forward cast that I am prepared to share with Freeview is that we're getting a possibility of a small little rally bounce back above the 12,000 mark. And then I would anticipate there remains a possibility of a downward move towards the mini head and shoulders target level of around 11.5. Possibly supporting. Usually you overperform slightly to target. As you can see here on the HVF, you would probably support in the funnel. Now, supporting in the funnel, you'd probably get a weak rally again, and we may go straight into another. This might all be a larger first impulse, and we go into another HVF to try break, wind up to break this key inverted setup on the 13,750 to 14,000, another key level of significance. That would be broadly bullish. A bearish situation would be the running of this low at 11,051, the red line. So break of the 11,051 to the downside would be deemed bearish. I want to point out also, in terms of, we've gone into some detail on premium about this not exactly being a riveting rebound of great strength. If you watch the reset sniper, you'll know that there's talk of the EU, both France and Germany, getting integrally involved in a coordinated response to Bitcoin and regulation thereof. So I think there's quite a bit of bad news still to follow, and there might be a secondary sell-off. So in terms of this recovery, it's moderate to light, and is subject to sell-off. So in terms of what happens here, if we do support here and we rally back up, you could be winding up to try get back above that. That would be broadly comforting, and it might suggest that we'll shrug off a little bit of muchly expected news about the control structure coming to regulate. However, if you show real heaviness down by this funnel level, it could imply that there's possibility for fresh downside on the Bitcoin. So that's my take, and yep, much more than that I'm not going to say, but we're really looking forward to our theory weekend. We've got an awesome group together, both virtually and physically, for a London show. We will be doing April again. Need to be fast because we're getting oversubscribed, and we want to contain a number of people at any one time. If you're interested in learning more, go to the trading, my apologies, the website, themarketsniper.com. Otherwise, just happy to share with you our current thoughts, and enjoy your Sunday.